Good morning, everyone. It's a glorious day. It's a gray, rainy day here in Tucson, the old Pueblo. It's 8:30 a.m. right here on this Tuesday, September 12th, 2023, and it is time once again for our mindful moment. I'm Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I'm the spiritual leader here at Unity of Tucson. And this is the opportunity that we take every single weekday, first thing in the morning at 8:30 a.m., to gather together to speak about some spiritual principles, some ideas in spirituality, some doctrine, if you will. Not dogma, doctrine. You get to decide. I'll tell you about the difference between doctrine and dogma. Um, right now, in fact, here's how I differentiate between doctrine and dogma. Doctrine is what we teach. Dogma is saying you cannot question what we teach. Doctrine, I think the value of doctrine in any wise teaching is that it is constantly questioned. So, yes, we have doctrine, we have tenets that we carry here, and I invite you to question them. There's value in questioning. It's how we discern the spiritual realization of any given moment. So, I offer some doctrine on these mindful moments, and then we engage in the practice of affirmative prayer together. That's what we're doing. I do this every weekday because when I am consistent, what I have found is when I am consistent in my practice, well, life gets better all around. I have enhanced the quality of my life through the experience of spiritual practice. And so if that works for you, you know, listen to the ideas, question the ideas, see what works for you, see what resonates with you, see if you are ready to enhance the quality of your life in the way that suits you best. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, I would love for you to post a comment and let me know that you are here. Let's see, I've got a bunch of comments coming through. Let's see, Sherry saying, yes, beautiful stormy day to all. Grateful to see you, Sherry. Silvana, good morning to you. Grateful to see you. Jerry is saying, good morning, all. Marvis, good morning. Rain, yes, rain. Marvis, I have missed seeing you in person. Always lovely to see you when you're here in person. I've missed you. I was thinking about you this morning a lot, actually. Lucy, grateful to see you. And yeah, we're getting some rain today. How is it up in the Great White North? William and Anita, good rainy morning to you. Roberta, love the rain. Denise, yes. Denise, here, love the rain. Yes, yes, yes. Sheila, my Aunt Sheila, beautiful day there in Florida. Still wishes she was back here in Tucson with us. You're always welcome. Come visit. I do want to offer my reminder, as I do every time I see you, and it is to say that you are love, you are light, you are life. That is your identity: love, light, life, peace, power, beauty, joy, harmony, wisdom, infinite intelligence, understanding, inspirational imagination. That's your identity. You, yes, you are magnificent. Today, so what's been on my mind today to talk about? When I do that, I'm always like, oh, pushing myself up in my seat. It always feels like I do that when I'm like, I have a little bit of a nervous response to what I want to say. And it's because here's what the nervous response is rooted in. It is rooted in the idea that I'm about to introduce some jargon that we utilize in our unity circles. Like we have a language. Here's the thing: you come into any new thought community, and one of the things is that we have developed a shorthand. We've developed jargon around what it is we present. And sometimes we take for granted that, oh, well, if you're in this community, you must know the jargon. That's not always true. So I like to try to explain some of the jargon that we use. And today is one of those days. And you don't hear me say this a lot, but it is something that will come up in classes and things like that. And I love the concept of it. And so I'm going to share it with you. So I'm going to say a word that has a lot of meaning within unity. And I want you to see what comes up for you. So the word is this: chemicalization. Just sit with that for a moment. See what comes up for you when I say that word, chemicalization. Are you sitting there thinking, what the heck is he talking about? I have no idea what he means when he says chemicalization. So I'm going to define chemicalization. I'm going to talk a little bit about sort of a metaphor around what chemicalization is. So Charles Fillmore Charles Fillmore defines chemicalization in this way. Chemicalization is a condition in the mind, so a mental condition that is brought about by the conflict that takes place when high spiritual realization contacts an old error state of consciousness. Chemicalization is a mental idea that is brought about by the conflict. There's conflict that takes place when a spiritual realization contacts an old error state of consciousness. So there are a couple things within this. First of all, an old error state in consciousness is anything that doesn't work for you. It is self-inflicted nonsense, right? I said that yesterday, I think. Sin, self-inflicted nonsense. We have erroneous ideas that we have adopted into our state of being and our state of belief. And so when those ideas are in conflict with spiritual realization, with what I will refer to as spiritual truth, then there is a conflict in mind. That conflict is what we refer to as chemicalization. Here's the thing, mind is creative too. And so in that conflict in mind, I think what happens is we feel that. We can feel that. It's a physiological sensation that we may feel. And a way to describe this metaphorically is, I don't know if when you were a kid, well, I mean, I used to play with this all the time. It wasn't just in this, like, build. Let me get to the point before I start qualifying it. So when you were a kid, did you ever build a volcano, right? Or did you ever see that was something that kids would do in school settings? Like they would build a paper mache volcano, and they would have a place inside where what we would do is you would put vinegar in that, and then baking soda, or you'd put the baking soda first and put the vinegar in on top of that. And what would happen is it would bubble up and bubble over, right? There was a chemical reaction that would happen. So imagine this. Imagine that the vinegar is the old error state of consciousness, that the vinegar is an old idea, and the baking soda that is introduced is the spiritual realization, and there is a reaction, right? And ultimately what happens is that reaction settles itself down. When a spiritual realization conflicts with an old paradigm, even if that paradigm worked once upon a time, and let's understand, like, we we take on ideas in mind because they work for us. They work for us. So that that idea may have worked once upon a time, even if it was ultimately not effective in the expansion of the quality of our life. And so once we introduce the spiritual idea, the spiritual realization, there's a bubbling up, right? For me, it really is almost always, I always know I'm in chemicalization because there's a discomfort, right? There's a physiological sensation of conflict. And I go, okay, this is something that I need to allow to settle. So that is the solution. That is the solution, to be with what is in the moment. And it's not always comfortable. I'm going to be really clear. It is not always comfortable. But if we let the spiritual realization do its work, then what we find is we enhance the quality of our thinking, our belief, and the feeling all around that. And life gets better on the other side. So, do you have the capacity to be with what is, even if there's a level of discomfort within it sometimes? That level, that discomfort feeling, that's chemicalization, the conflict of an old paradigm with a spiritual truth, a spiritual realization. I'm going to invite us all into an open awareness that that discomfort is actually enhancing the quality of our lives, and it is short lived. It is short-lived. It will stick around for as long as we mentally remain in that state of conflict. And so by allowing myself to be with what is in the moment and adopting and accepting the spiritual realization, which I may which I may intellectually know is for my highest good, allowing myself to be with what is in the moment, I can adopt that spiritual realization into a full embodiment. And what no longer worked simply melts away. So let's take that into some affirmative prayer treatment. And I invite you, if it is safe and comfortable for you, to close your eyes, allow yourself to have the moment of open minded awareness. Release any physical tension that you may be holding that is unnecessary to this experience in this moment. And allow. I relax into this moment. I relax into this moment. And in this state of conscious relaxation, I release anything that has preceded this moment, letting go of the past, fully in recognition that it all has served me, and I am in a state of mind now where I can determine whether it continues to serve me. So I let go of the past. I release any anticipation for what is to unfold, and I allow myself to be here now. And it is in this here and now moment that I am open and receptive to the idea that there is only one infinite power, there is only one infinite presence, there is only one creative source, there is one intelligence, there is consciousness, there is this quantum field of infinite possibility and potential, and nothing else exists. Nothing else exists. And this magnificent creative source is unfolding itself into the construct of creation, to the construct of all that is seen materially, everything seen, everything unseen, everything in the world of form, everything on this plane of action. It is all the construct of the infinite. There is nothing which is not wholly divine, wholly God. And this includes each and every one of us. We are the power, we are the presence, we are the light and the life, we are the love, we are the understanding, the infinite intelligence, the inspirational imagination. We are God embodied and expressed. For there can be nothing separate from the infinite. So the whole of who we are is divine. And we exist in an infinite sea of receptivity. We exist in an infinite sea of unfoldment. We are the energy of the wave in the vast ocean that is God. We are fundamentally an expression of the whole. This is our identity. This is our identity. And so I speak my word on behalf of every single person that I encounter, everyone within the sound of my voice, everyone in this virtual space that we have collectively decided to be part of here and now. I speak my word on behalf of each and every one of us to know that there is a comfort in evolution. There is a comfort in adopting spiritual realization. There is a comfort in the experience of chemicalization. There is a comfort in knowing we are constantly evolving and growing. That is the nature of the divine, consistent unfoldment and evolution. And so we are part of this. And so that which no longer works for us is left aside, is left to the dustbin of history. And while we may revel and celebrate the fact that it once worked for us. It is okay to leave it behind in light of a greater spiritual truth. And so I find and allow comfort in the chemicalization. It is with gratitude overflowing from within that I open up to the flow, trusting this to be so. I let it be as I relax, release, and allow, and affirm it by saying, and so it is. So it is. Always delighted to share this time with you. A little extra time today, and nothing wrong with that. Just looking out my window at the rain coming down. Rain in the desert, such a blessing. Um, Speaking of blessings, would love to have you bless our time and experience here, starting tomorrow night at 5 p.m. right here at Unity of Tucson. We're going to be live streaming the events from Unity Village as part of the Unity World Day of Prayer. Starting at 5 p.m., the World Day of Prayer continues on for another 24, actually 27 hours. We live stream the opening ceremony tomorrow at 5 p.m. We will live stream a panel discussion on Thursday morning, beginning at 9 p.m. Between 11, no, not 9 p.m., 9 a.m. Between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m., we will be enjoying a prayer vigil here in our sanctuary. And at 5 p.m., we will be live streaming from Unity Village the World Day of Prayer celebration concert with Reverend Michael Gott and Karen Drucker. You can find out more. This is all, by the way, there's no charge to this. If you'd like to make a donation in support of Unity of Tucson, we are delighted to have you do that. You can go to unitytucson.com, check out the calendar for the list of events, or scan that QR code for the list of events. I say scan the QR code, then I take it away. You can always replay this video, scan the QR code. All right, that's it. I will look forward to seeing you again soon. I want to see, we've got a couple comments that have come through. Yes, love to all. Stephen Belair, how delightful to see you. Annie, grateful to see you as well. And Sherry, what have you said here? Once I put my head around it, once the chemicalization happened, I settled into the new thoughts and beliefs. And now I love, love, love it. Yeah, here's the thing. If you find comfort within chemicalization, it's actually kind of an exciting thing. Play with that today. See what comes up for you. All right. Peace and blessings to you all. I'll see you tomorrow again, 8:30 a.m. for the mindful moment. Bye, everybody.